All right, YouTube, today what we're doing, we got this 2015 Mustang Ecoboost, baby. I know you need a turbo every now and then. We're going to be putting this exhaust on it. It's turbo back exhaust for solo performance. We also have a wastegate actuator we're going to be putting on it. Right now I got the fan on the turbo, cooling it off. You know that baby's going to be hot. First step, we're going to go ahead with this wastegate actuator upgrade from Turbosmart. Let's get it turned around here. So this is what we're going to be working with. The first step you got to do after you get it cooled off, of course, it's been probably 30 minutes almost blowing a fan on this because it's still kind of warm. What you're going to take, it's right here, you got 13mm nuts. This one the whole stud come out, no big deal. This one over here, take this nut off. Then down here at the bottom there's a Torx bit that you have to get to. To make it a little easier to get to the Torx bit, it's 10mm right here on this dampener. I'm going to go ahead and take this bad boy off of the motor mount here, and it's going to make it easier to get this Torx bit. So I'm going to get that Torx off, then I'm going to remove this heat shield, and we'll get back to it after that. Alright, so we're up under the car now because there is an asshole T30 bit right up here on this heat shield. I don't know if you can see it or not. That is just being a royal pain. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to get this downpipe down and out of the way, give me a little bit more working room on that T30 Torx bit. It's the last bolt that is on the heat shield. So to remove the downpipe and the exhaust, you're going to have to loosen up these two bolts. They're 14mm on either side of this turbo flange. Then you'll come down here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just take off these two bolts that appear to be 13 or 14mm right here on the side of the transmission housing. Then we're going to cruise down here and take off this clamp, slip it out of the hanger and move this bad boy up down out of my way so we can get to that torch. Right, so here's the pain in the ass. It's right here, Torx bit. Tapped on it, penetrating oil on it, and what it wound up being is that my my cheap Torx bits here were just bending, breaking. So I had to upgrade my Torx bit, get a good Torx bit. It broke right off, broke right free, I mean. So looking at here, be your wastegate actuator. There's a little circlip right there. We're going to pop that bad boy off. Then we're going to come out and take two bolts off the front here. Once we get those two bolts off the front, undo the vacuum line, slide this actuator out of place, then we're going to put the new one on. So here's where we are. The new Turbosmart wastegate actuator is in place. What you're going to do to adjust the linkage here is you're going to pull this wastegate flap all the way back. So it just flops forward on me. Pull this wastegate flap all the way back, and just like that, and get it to where it barely will go back over on the actuator here. So then he recommends that you take it off and go about 3mm inwards, which is around 4 turns inwards to preload the spring. So then I'm going to have to put a pair of pliers here on the shaft and pull and get this actuator shaft back over the top of this arm here. So that's where we're at. Once I get the arm back on, I'm going to reinsert my circlip here. Focus. Oh, I guess that's as good as I'm going to get. Reinsert my circlip here and tighten up the bolts and hook my vacuum line here back up to this actuator. I already got the heat shield back on here, that pain in the ass hex back on there. The bolts are all tightened up, vacuum lines hooked up here. I'm going to have to put this little dealio back onto the motor mount right there where it goes. This little isolator, rubber isolator, sound isolator there. Now we're going to move on. Still got the downpipe here. We'll go ahead and take the rear exhaust off. take the rear exhaust off. You're gonna take these two bolts out from the hangers. Let's get under here. Oh! You got this bolt right here, this bolt right here. Both of them are 13 millimeter. You take those off. Then the mufflers just slide right out of these hangers up here. And then this whole exhaust from the resonator all the way back slide right down out. So we'll take that out and we'll come back. Still eco boosting it up here. I've got the two bolts up there on the flange tight to the turbo. Forward O2 sensor in. These bolts right here tight on the exhaust hanger. Exhaust hanger in here. Got my piece of flex pipe in loosely. Got the rear resonator on with the Y pipe. Everything's loosely installed. We're about to go to the back, work on the back. All right, can't resist but to crank it up with just the Y pipe, not any mufflers. Does not sound too bad. I don't know if you're picking it up on the video, but you can really hear that turbo just sit there. Alright, enough fun for the day. Alright, we got the rear muffler sections slid up into the rear hangers. Loosely mounted the front hangers here. We took off earlier. It's going to go right into this Y pipe. Got it fixed up over here. And then next step, we're gonna put it on, put the clamps on, tighten everything down, get the tips lined up, and we'll join you for a final install video. All right, so there it is installed. It's the Solo Performance exhaust, 2015 Ecoboost Mustang. Wasn't too bad of an install. That wastegate had its little issues, but other than that, we got past it and wasn't too bad. Got the stock exhaust wrapped up. We'll try to see if we can fit it in the car. If not, we'll have to chop that bad boy up, put it in there. All right, let's crank this puppy up, see how she sounds. Not too bad for a four-banger, I must admit. I don't know if you can hear that turbo on the camera, but you can definitely hear it out here. Not too bad, Solo Performance, not too bad. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, for another video. There'll be more to come now that I've gotten into my new home here. And I just want to say I appreciate everybody that watches my videos. You know, this is the reason I create them. If there's any hints or any comments that you want to make or anything that you'd want to see that I need to do different, just drop it in the comments section. Thanks for watching.